All right, here we go again. Buckle up, rough roads ahead. The weather's getting crazy out in the Midwest. So, one of their online activities now is to try to prove that there is no God in their victims, take their victims away from church. Again, there could be directly, it is being directly operated against me, but it's not about me, it's about what they do. Right. CIA type activity in our country. This is what they do in their cronies. They got a bunch of private sector cronies that, that's just a private investigation firm. Oh, he got himself in trouble. Rick Henry, Karen Shelton, Chief Quick, calling people and telling them to attack me is not me getting myself in trouble. Correct. And then everybody else that's their, progency at that point. Right. They're progeny. Their offspring in government, their offspring in making those phone calls. Right. Well, because once somebody dirties themselves around me, they don't want, they have an interest in stopping my left head. Right. So I'm on that iRig. I had to tone down that breathiness. Hopefully I did. I put one of those dead cats on there. Or furry cats, whatever they call them. I guess both. Right. Okay. Guys out golfing. Yes, a dedicated early crew out in the rain. It's like taking a walk, I guess, for some people, right? And just going golf. And then they say the real FBI doesn't exist, and first it's the real God, and then they go back and forth. So I bought these larger sunglasses to go over my glasses because mine aren't dark enough for this midday sun, and then also it blocks allergens from the eyes. It's like a shield, right? But there's so much glare on these, I don't think I can keep them. I mean, they know they go over glasses. I don't get it. Right. Like today, but I remembered I had an appointment. Nah, they're just playing their game out. It's got no national interest, no even really personal interest. It's just wackos. And who wants to dirty themselves like that so they have to worry the rest of their life? Right. Oh yeah, online, Facebook's definitely increasing the sexualized children thing. Right. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Larry. But there's a progression. That's the thing. How you doing? It has like a mind. It increased. There's a progression to cause somebody to move towards pedophilia. It's not a test. It's designed to psychologically alter the victim into pedophilia. Thank you, Larry. There's no doubt at all. And they'll go, well, you didn't become a pedophile, so then it isn't real, right? It doesn't actually do it, and no bullshit, all of you. Thank you, Larry. It's probably those people I speak about, right? The CIA, FBI formers that are sitting there making their big money, and they don't care because they're protected by the agency itself, right? Thanks, sir. And I got questions about the parents and what they're doing with their children. Again, it's that kind of what's her name, John Benet Ramsey type of environment, right? Well, there's no reason for it to come up in my feed, correct? Thank you, Larry. Definitely a mission creep and a psychological operation. That's them. They do it and then they freak out about it. I mean, they're weirdos. An overcast kind of day. Actually, pretty nice compared to what it's been. The sun's been just kind of very strong lately. Break from it. Trying to think of what I saw in the news. Right, everything still points to something like Guantanamo Bay or I know you have to have them on other military bases too. Right. Well, every one of those people in El Salvador you could put in Guantanamo Bay, and I know, you didn't want them in the United States, and again, there is some deterrence taking them to El Salvador, but I think striking a deal with the court to run Guantanamo Bay a certain way might work. Again, you have to afford them representation, but once they score, and again, that's the problem is you don't have. You're saying state secret, so you're not going to prove to the court that it's actually something there. Well, there's the secret court. There's in camera view where nobody sees it but the court, right? So again, there are remedies for what you're trying to claim, and again, it looks fishy. So we can't show you because, right? Well, I designed the system I explained. Correct. I'm not going to get much of a walk in. It feels like the rain's coming. And they said it wouldn't rain. Of course, they're liars. Thank you there. It's already drizzling here. At least I think it is. Maybe it's coming off the trees. I don't know. Looks like it's getting a little darker here. Thank you. Well, you have to provide some sort of representation, but I don't know how large that representation pool has to be. Right. And then again, as long as you have billets where you can set them up, right? What you do is you let the attorney come in and spend a couple days there, and then you fly them off. You have a separate area for them, right? Thank you, Larry. But you could transport them by boat. Now I don't know. You can alter. I don't know what they're doing for supply and all that, like what kind of ships they're using and who the people are. But you can always shift it. So you use a military craft for the supply. It's not hard. Like even those amphibious, I guess they're open to elements, so that's the problem with that. I was saying maybe you could build something on that deck. I know there's like a deck on the amphibious ships, right? But there's common areas and stuff like that in ships, so just have to find those and figure something that might be cost effective. Then again, it might not be. Well, when you bring the supplies in, you can you can actually transport the prisoners, the inmates, that way, or detainees, whatever they call them, in that manner. Correct. So you can just kind of make it part of a supply run, so it becomes cost effective because you're doing two things at once. Yeah, it looks like it's going to rain. I swore up and down it wouldn't rain. I said, no, let's look at the radar. Yeah, the wind's picking up too. I gotta, whoa. I'll be in the middle of a tornado. Anyam. I had to turn around. I can't keep going in good faith. Right. The sheriff's department has to rescue me. Thank you, Larry. Thank you. Again, I would, again, you're enticing people to go home and letting them back, and they probably don't even believe you. And I don't know if I believe you. All right. Thanks, Larry. Well, what's going on, I think, is we have this element that's working in that field of work, a small number or a fraction, whatever it is, right? And they are not here, or they're here, and they have issues with their backgrounds and all that, right? Or something current or whatever it is, and you're deporting them. But when you go into the workplace, there's people that have legitimate status, right, that could stay, or they're still undocumented, but there's really nothing there keeping them from being documented other than there's no way in, there's no access to anything, right? So we're killing that workforce. Well, because we really don't want to get rid of the people that are working hard and they're good people doing their job and conducting their life the way they're supposed to. Correct. Because the future will say no. Right. The inflative future says no. So at a certain point, whether it's now or in 4 years, we're going to have to restore some sort of immigrant workforce. Because what you're doing now is going to lead to inflation. It's going to increase wages, but it's going to lead to inflation. You're doing the same thing Biden did. Oh my God. And again, Biden was stuck, as far as immigrants, Biden was stuck with a insufficient immigrant workforce. Yeah, under Trump 1, that's part of what was succeeding Trump 1. Right. The first administration of Trump benefited from an immigrant workforce. And we were actually trying to cultivate it a little bit. Right. Right. So again, it's not necessarily winning to do some of this. I agree, Larry. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, sir. So I was already able to establish that it's not weather related because the rainy weather isn't doing all that much to me, and I put like nothing on my body to to enhance the body so it won't react or something like an anti-inflammatory cream or anything. Right. Oh. Some of it is obviously stress, and they know that. So that's a form of physical torture. When somebody has a disability that flares up when you stress them out, and then you stress them out. So that's physical torture. Again, I'll talk you into the ground with you. You don't go away, I'll talk you into the ground. Thanks, Larry. No, that's big. So they say there's this big disruption to prove me just crazy, quote unquote. They said there's this big disruption of my internet service that all of a sudden now they're going to talk about it. One thing they don't know is it happens all the time. So they try to make an excuse like, oh, he's just crazy. See, it was just a disruption of your internet service, like making me believe that I'm just confused, right? Happens like 5 times a day, like 4 times a week. Right. Thank you, Larry. Thanks, Larry. So yes, Facebook is running a sexualization program that involves sending sexualized videos to the point of alter. So, right. So what you have to do is you have to establish your target woman, right, or man, whatever you're doing, right. If you're undercover, right. Then you watch how they take that. What am I saying? Not demographics. You take that person's visual features and then start introducing those visual features in younger people until it's a minor child. Thanks, Larry. Thanks, sir. And that's what they're doing. It works, especially if you isolate somebody and torture them around it. Like, oh, you clicked on it, now you're okay, right? You reported it, now we'll screw up your Amazon. Thanks, Larry. I didn't report all of it because some of it they're going to say is just like Jean Bonnet stuff, right? But some of it looked like it was just there to look like child. I would say a certain level of child exploitation. They weren't naked, but it was sexualized. Like I think the Jean Bonnet kind of stuff was sexualized also. Like contests and stuff, right? Who would put their young? Because you look at the girl, without her makeup, without all that, and you look at her at the contest, and you think, who would put their young daughter into that? I mean, who would do it? Right? They're obviously not going to church or anything like that. Correct. I mean, that's where you take your kids. Again, it can be dangerous, but right. If you follow the rules, generally, your child should be okay. Right. Well, you have to discuss with your children what's okay and what's not okay, and just constantly reinforce that. Right. And you have those words. Like my kids, it was Franklin the elephant. Right. If somebody came up to them and didn't say Franklin the elephant, then they're not okay. Right. Thank you, sir. Let me heal these people. No, they're black at the bus stop. People driving by going, what are they doing here? Right. Living next to my golf cart. Thanks, sir. Getting cursed for being black at the bus stop in a white community. Where am I at now? Yeah, it's good. It'll be about 24 minutes, 25 minutes. Right. Regularity for everything. No, it definitely exists. Now, if you notice, New Mexico, I think, pulled back. So that means they were being harassed by the deep state and extorted until they would stop prosecuting the sexualization, or at least investigating it. Thank you much. Now, again, it may require that they know that you're who you are. Like, not to say that the person's a pedophile or anything like that. Again, quite the opposite, right? Somebody's investigating pedophilia, right? Try to dirty them and then, extort them into not investigating it. Thank you, Larry. Yeah, it's picking up the rain. Now I looked at the radar. It showed the rain was way off to the north, a little bit to the south, but that was BS. But you got a little walk in. Thank you, Larry. He'll stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do. Praise God.